Howdy! How's it goes? Welcome to the Live to Photography YouTube channel. Today, the D800, ladies and gentlemen. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I just wanted to say that the Nikon D800 here, this is a camera I've owned for several years now. I've shot everything on it from sports to racing to weddings to general automotive photography to portraits, you name it, this camera's seen it. So all that being said, this video is a formal review. We'll be touching on specs as well as my own personal sustains and improves and whether or not this guy is worth it going into 2025. Starting firstly on specs, you've got that beautiful 36.3 megapixel full frame sensor in there for the largest images you've ever probably tried to upload to your computer if you've not touched a D850. You've got 51 autofocus points in the viewfinder, 15 of those being cross-type. You've got a max shutter speed of 1/8,000th of a second at 4 FPS in continuous high. That monitor on the back, 3.2 inches diagonal. You've got a 100% coverage viewfinder. She takes SD and CF cards. You get 1080p video out of it. 1080p at 30 FPS. So it's important to mention with video mode too on the D800 that you do not have autofocus tracking. You can lock your autofocus point before you start filming, and you can change it as you film, but your best bet if you want focus tracking or dynamic autofocus throughout shots is just to use the manual focus. It works, but it's 2012, guys. It's just not quite there. This is a camera that you bought for photography that just so happens to be able to do video. Photo is this thing's game. Alright, let's get into sustains. What do I enjoy about this camera? Well, it takes stellar images every time. Have you ever heard the expression, the camera just doesn't do it justice? Well, I tell you what, this camera does it justice every single time. Another fantastic thing about this camera is that it has seemingly unparalleled reliability over 7 years of use. I bought this thing secondhand 7 years ago with 16,000 shutters on it, and I put probably double that on it at this point. And I don't have a problem with it. I've never had an issue. It's never had to be sent to service, not that I can anymore anyways. I mean, to be fair, I take care of my gear, but that's all I have to say. Fantastic, well done, Nikon. Another sustain is the ergonomics on this camera. Now it fits my hand just perfectly. Now it is a large camera and I do kind of have large hands, so if you're a small-handed person, you may want to shoot for something more like the D600. It's a titch smaller, and we'll be talking about that in its dedicated video, but that may fit your hand a little better if ergonomics is all that you're looking for out of a camera. But in terms of it here, it fits a large hand fantastically. All the buttons are exactly where you want them. They're where you'd expect them to be. You've got your two mappable buttons here, one of them for depth of field preview right here, and this one is mappable out of the box. I personally have it mapped to image playback because I like to be able to just hit the button like that and make sure my exposure's good, and then I'll just keep on shooting. To finish off the sustains, this one really isn't a sustain just as much as it is, you know, a feeling that you may get, but this is a camera that makes you want to keep shooting. It really is. It's something about it. I can't quite place it. Moving on to improves. What don't I enjoy about the camera so much? Well, its weight at nearly 2 pounds makes it fairly heavy before you even take and toss a lens on it. Now, let's just below 50, but you take and toss a 2470 on that, or even a 70 to 200, and you don't want to hang it around your neck. And finally, of course, this thing has absolutely gigantic RAW files at about 75 megabytes apiece. They're huge. This camera will force you to build a server if you don't have one already. We'll have a video on that coming up too. But yeah, I mean, sure, you can just shoot in JPEG, or I believe you can compress the RAW files in camera too, but sacrilege. Don't do that, please. So how much can you have yourself a Nikon D800 for today? Keep in mind that all this pricing was gathered as of Halloween of 2024, so if you're watching this on November 15th of 2024, things may be a little bit different, and if you're watching this on September 7th of 2026, prices are going to be probably vastly different. To give you guys a sense of scale, these cameras released for $3,000 in 2012. Nowadays, from MPV, you can get one anywhere from $295 all the way up to $455 depending on the condition you buy them in. At KEH, you can get them from $512 to $629, and B&H has one at $550. So they're pretty available in the online market. You may be able to find some at some of your local shops. I personally was not. Otherwise, I would have included their pricing as well, but they don't have any at the moment. All in all, is the Nikon D800 worth it going into 2025? Absolutely. Go out and buy one now if you haven't already. You're gonna get nothing but stellar performance, absolutely fantastic reliability. This thing is a tank. Magnesium alloy body, she's weather resistant. You're gonna have absolutely no problem with it. You've got compatibility with lenses dating back 70 years, guys. 70 years worth of glass you can use. As we've stated before, at 36.3 megapixels, you get absolutely stellar images every single time. Like I said, this camera does it justice 100% of the time. So if you're looking into getting your first full frame, absolutely get one of these. If you're looking for a backup body, absolutely buy one of these. Buy two. If you're looking to upgrade from, say, a D600 or a D610 or maybe even a D700, by all means, please. They'll give you nothing but reliability in return. This has been Lifted Photography. Thank you guys for watching. Have a fantastic day.